everyone. Today I just wanted to share some information that I finally received yesterday. Um, Kind of explains why I have really weird vibes about this immediate surrounding. For I'm a walker. I like to walk around mostly like in outside and nature and stuff like that. I've done that like the majority of my life, and in the house that I grew up in down that street, I actually made a tour of my street. I have a video of that, and I talk about everything weird and creepy that's ever happened on that street. And I actually, even though I found it to be a creepy street, I actually was still comfortable to take very long walks up and down my street. And when I moved here, I get really, really bad vibes to the point where I do not feel comfortable at all walking around my immediate area. Even though this place is so overcrowded with vacationers that, if something weird happened or if I felt uncomfortable, you would think that someone would notice and stuff like that. I mean, we have tons of people, children and everything, just running around all by themselves. I mean, it's perceived to be a very, very safe place, even though, like, the worst thing that's going to happen to you if you're walking around or riding a bike is that you're going to get hit by a car. But during the spring season, when the roads were so awful to drive on, I would actually walk to work. It's only about 20 minutes to walk from where I live to my work. And I would take like a nature walk trail that is at the end of my street, and it kind of like cuts through one of the highways. And it's like a really secluded little tiny patch of wooded forest area, and then just a really quick trip down the side of the highway to my work. And I did that all spring season, and I got really weird vibes from it, but I just did it anyways because it was more convenient and it was healthy, and it was a really nice scenery, and I felt moderately safe. I was actually more worried about like coming across an animal than I would be like some freak. Until yesterday when I was over at my parents', and I don't know how we got to this topic, but it was brought up that someone was actually murdered in our immediate area. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess that would explain the incredible weird vibes that I get about walking in certain places and not liking to be in certain places in this area. And they said that it actually occurred in the little wooded section that I had been walking all throughout my spring break season. And I was like, why didn't anybody feel the need to tell me this information? Because if I had known that, I probably would have just dealt with the damn traffic and not with the idea of being raped. But apparently what had happened, it was actually back in 2011. I actually wasn't living in this area. I was actually living a couple of towns over, and I was in college. But what happened was that there was a family vacationing here, and this family had a 15-year-old daughter, and she was either lured by like somebody that she had friended here, or she was kidnapped by this 21-year-old guy, and he took her out to this forested area, and he nearly strangled her to death with his shirt, and then dragged her to a dry swamp bed, and then proceeded to rape her and then beat her to death and left her there. And then he went over to his friends and gloated about what he did, and then he even brought his friend over to see his work. And they said that that happened on the exact same path that I had been taking, and that I took like last week, I walked down that path to work, and it's like shocking to just imagine me just walking down a path and just there being a body at some, like just a couple of years ago, there was like a body just sitting there. That just boggles my mind, and especially since that no one felt the need to tell me, and that now that I know that, and I know that people that they're little kids, I mean even younger than 15, run around this place like it's safe, and you never really know if you're ever going to see your kid again, or where you're going to see your kid again, for that matter. But I did a little research on it because that's what I do. And this morning, that's what I got, like the information. I got their names. I'm not going to include their names or but this place is called. I'm not going to include the articles because then that's like a flippin' dead giveaway of where I live, and I'm not doing that. But it's actually they gave a name of a place that actually is not where I had originally thought. Everyone was saying that this took place. It actually happened a couple of streets down from where I live. I think, like according to one of the articles, anyways, it said that. That still makes me really uncomfortable because I've actually driven down that road several times, and it's really, really not far. It's like maybe a 10-minute walk from where I live. And just thinking that that can happen there, and that area was actually a more populated area. There was actually more houses in that area, and where I was walking, yeah, there's houses, but there's the path, and then on one side is a community with a really, really tall, I think like a 10-foot privacy fence blocking off the path from that neighborhood. And then on the other side is like a smaller privacy fence on the other side. So, I can see houses. That doesn't necessarily mean anyone could see me or anything that is actually going on down that path. And not a lot of people know about the path unless you're a local. And it was a local who had done this to this girl. And that just creeps me out because it makes me, it made me look up the crime rate in my area, and we have a relatively low crime rate, but we've actually had some violent crimes in this area, which makes me wonder, I wonder if anything actually did happen down that path that I don't know about, that I can't find anything about, because I guess since that 2011 murder is like the most recent. That's like the only thing I can find on Google right now. It's like, that's it, guys. I mean, yeah, we've had a couple of more violent crimes and petty thefts, but this is the big thing. And I can't find any other articles about anything else that happened here. That yet. I'm gonna keep looking. But that's what I wanted to share with you guys. And it just really correlated with the really creepy vibes that I get when I walk in this area. I don't know if that has anything to do with it or if I'm just uncomfortable here for whatever reason besides that. But now that I know that, I'm really sketchy about doing that walk for the summer season, because I know the summer season is actually going to be worse than the spring season, considering traffic and everything. And it might be worth walking to work instead of driving. Unless I get raped and killed, I really don't know. Because you never really know, because crazy locals, crazy tourists, you never really know what you're going to get. So, I don't know. If you guys have ever had like a strange, bad vibe about either a place or even a person, and then like later on you found out some information that totally correlates with how you feel about the subject, I would love to know about it. So you just leave your comments down below, and I will definitely read them and probably respond to them. And I'm going to go now because I just only time I have. Alright, thank you guys for watching, and I'll try to post some more things later at another time. Okay, thanks guys. Bye.